A big part of mental health is understanding who you are. And this ties, Sam, into like the DJ industry. I mean, a lot of times when we're asked like, oh my God, who are you? We say, oh, I'm a DJ. But it's like, that's not who you are, that's what you do, you know? So I think a big thing when it comes to introducing yourself to others, especially a lot of the people in this group I can see are creatives. So a lot of my friends, I see, you know, somebody who's a DJ. I also see Riza, who's a seamstress. I see, you know, Nico, who's a designer. We're all in this creative industry. And a lot of times when I meet people, they say, oh, I'm so-and-so, I am this. I myself am guilty of that. I'm Marina, I'm a writer, you know, but I've gotten used to saying, oh, hi, I'm Marina. Boom, leave it at that. Okay, and then if you ask what I do, I say what I do. So when doing that, defining who you are based off what you do definitely limits the possibility of who you can become. So it kind of isolates people to think of you only as that and nothing but that. But I can guarantee you that you are more than what you do. I know that for a fact because, you know, I know Sam, she's my best friend. She's a DJ, but there's so much more to her. And I love it. You know, that's why she's my friend. So, and also doing so, you're reminding yourself that you are human. It takes the pressure off of the perception that you feed. And the reason why feed is in quotation marks, social media. You know, when you take the pressure off of this online presence, which is basically what a lot of us have right now. It's all we have to reach people because we can't physically do it. It's okay to take the pressure off of having to work, to having to prove to people that, yes, even during this time, I'm still working. It's okay if you're not, we get it. We're all going through it again, you know? So I enjoy seeing people do what they love during this time, whether that's running or, you know, working out or, I don't know, painting, but they're not a painter. I think it's super cool. When you define yourself for who you are, you really begin to build these healthy relationships with people when you identify yourself as a human being. Because that's one thing that we all have in common is that we're all human. You know, I may not be a designer, but I can guarantee you that I've probably been through something similar that you have when it comes to life. And that's what we should connect on, not just, hey, what resources do you have for me? Or, you know, do you know A, B, C, and D? Let's connect on a very, very real level, a very honest level. And when you begin to do that, you create this community of people that you can go to, that you can talk to, that you can just unwind to, even when it doesn't have to do with work, which is so important for our mental health, is to create a community, a safe community where we can be exactly who we are. And the last line of the slide, it is cliche, but it's true. There's only one of you. There literally is only one of you. I don't know any other simpler way to put it, but there's only one of you. You have your story. You have your, you know, your tale to tell. You have your life. And personally, that's what I find like very intriguing about people. I wouldn't say I'm like very outgoing, but I'm definitely an observer, and I like to observe people. I like to say hi to people. I like to make a small conversation with people. I really like to analyze, but not judge. There's a very fine line because I won't judge you, but I'll analyze and see like, okay, like they really like to do this, or, you know, this person seems a little timid when they're in this situation. Maybe I can help, or maybe I can talk to them. So just be yourself. You know, I love it. All my friends that I have, I love them because of who they are, not because of what they do. That's just a bonus. Who they are brings more to the table. So definitely pay attention to people for who they are during this time, because we all want to be seen, you know, for that reason, not just off of what we do. So you guys like just want me to read these slides and go over it? You guys are good?
It's up to you.
I'm like, Sam, Marissa, y'all are good.
If we have questions, we'll definitely ask. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So turn the music down. Destigmatize mental health for artists. This is big. Mental health in the DJ community is a huge thing. It's a big thing. Mental health amongst artists is a big thing. The lack of conversation is even bigger. A lot of people I know are, I never like to say are suffering from a mental illness. I like to say they're living with it. They're learning to coexist with it, with a mental health disorder. So myself, a little background on me. A lot of people that I know that are actually in this chat, I met when I was DJing. So I started DJing around maybe, what, Sam, maybe 2016, 2017, around there. I was playing all these venues in Los Angeles. If you're from LA, I was holding, or I held a residency at the Echoplex, or if you've been to 143, you know the Echoplex. I was playing there every month, sometimes 2 times a month for almost a year and a half, definitely a year, almost a year and a half. I was playing in San Diego. At the same time, I was working a full-time job. At the same time, I'm a full-time mom. Obviously, I'm a single mom. So I was balancing all of this, and playing actually got me to come out of my shell. So I love music, but when I would DJ, it got me to kind of like forget about everything that was happening at the moment. But the DJ industry is a very fast-paced industry. You are constantly out. You are out very late. You're around alcohol and drugs, and everything is so accessible to you when you're a DJ. People are so accessible to you when you're a DJ. And that's very strong because that's energy. So even preparing for gigs, I mean, you isolate yourself in your room sometimes. You're alone because you're preparing for this gig, and how are you going to get through it? It was a lot, you know, while also trying to maintain your regular social life, while trying to still be a good daughter. I was doing a good sister, a good mom, good friend, you know, still trying to be there for everybody, but still trying to be there for myself. So around 2018, I had played my last gig at the Egoplex, and I decided to step out and really focus on my mental health, because I remember reaching a point one night, I had a little too much to drink, and I remember getting off stage and thinking, that was cool, but now what? You know, everyone wanted to buy me a drink, but no one wanted to have a conversation. And if it was a conversation, it was more like, hey, what are you doing after tonight? Or hey, what are you doing after the show? It was very like non-organic, very pressured. And I was like, dude, there's so much more to me that these people don't know. Like, I could write a poem about you right now. I could write a book. I've written books. Like, why isn't anybody talking to me? It's just a weird environment. And I would drink and drink and drink. Sometimes, unfortunately, I would, you know, put myself in situations that could have been very tragic and very destructive. And I'm not proud of it, but I did it. And I was like, you know what? I have to focus on my mental health, because I can't keep living this life that has no end. I can't keep living for the night. And that's what I was doing. I was living for the weekends. I was doing what I had to do during the week, sometimes even playing during the week, and living for the weekends, getting drunk, being hungover, still trying to fake to my son that I wasn't hungover. It was just really bad. It was really, really bad. I'm being completely honest with you guys. So I decided to step out, focus on my mental health, and it was the best thing I could have done. And the reason why I stepped away is because at that time, aside from Sam, I didn't have friends in the industry that really understood my mental health. They didn't understand that sometimes I didn't want to talk about my show. Sometimes I didn't want to talk about the music. Sometimes I didn't want to channel DJ Marina. I just wanted to be Marina. Like, no, I don't want to go to your party and DJ. Like, I just want to hang out with you. I just want to be your friend, you know? And so when I did that, I spent a lot of time by myself, aside from some close friends. And I really got to know myself all over again. I wouldn't say I fell in love with myself. I feel like now I'm at my best self at the moment. But then I definitely reached a good place, met some more good people. And I love DJing, but I also got to a point where I was like, I'm only going to pick gigs that I really want to play. Like, I don't want to play everything and tire myself out. So I didn't. And now I play when I want. I love having more control over myself. I love the ability to say no, which is a huge thing when it comes to mental health. And yeah, it's just a really good place.
I want to bring the fact that when you did, and we'll get into it, but when you did finally publish Soul Investigation, which you guys will see, which is her first zine. She actually, and I ended up kind of taking on that role in having that gig at the Echoplex, and Marina came through and like gave me her book.
I did backstage
in the green room. So it was just kind of funny to see how you know, you were able to step away, but you were still coming back to what you loved and the people that you loved.
Yeah.
It actually meant a lot that you were there for us, but then it was cool to have something physical that was kind of like a memento of this other life that you're living outside of.
Definitely. Yeah, that's so crazy. I actually did bring the book to a show, and I was there just to watch Sam and support her and show her like, hey, you know, like, I'm good. I'm here for you now. Like, let's kill it. Let's do it. And it was a beautiful thing. I loved it. And when it comes to destigmatizing mental health in the artist industry, there's actually some very hard hitting facts when it comes to mental health that maybe you guys do or do not know. And I hope that this also, if you are currently living with a mental, you know, health issue, this helps you bring down a little bit. And if you're not, or if you know somebody who is, I hope this helps you bring awareness. But 1 in 5 are battling a mental illness. So, I mean, think about 5 people you know, at least one of those, maybe even 2, maybe even all, are dealing with a mental illness that you do not know about. In a year, this is equivalent to 4.3 million that are living with all types of mental health disorders. I feel like the most common ones that we come across or that our friends are honest about are depression and anxiety, but those aren't the only 2. You know, we have depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, PTSD, OCD, borderline personality disorder, which is also known as BPD. I feel like BPD and anxiety definitely go hand in hand. And I know a lot of people that I think live with BPD, but I unfortunately are very ashamed to come to terms with it, but it's okay. Women in particular make up 75% of the population with BPD. Men do suffer from this, but it does go undiagnosed because of the stigma that surrounds men and how they should handle emotions and how they should, you know, sweep it under the rug, how you're supposed to be strong, how you're supposed to have it all together. Women get, I feel like, stereotyped with this disorder when it comes to having their menstrual cycle. We think they're just being moody. We think they're just being snappy. We think that they're just being, you know, aggressive. But when it comes to BPD, it's basically, you know, hand in hand with anxiety and bipolar and PTSD. A lot of the triggers with BPD are relationships. We, you know, feel like we're always being abandoned. We feel like things are always our fault. The symptoms of it are fear of abandonment, unstable relationships, impulsive behavior, constant like black and white decision making. So thinking that if things went wrong, it's definitely my fault. I fucked up. It's my fault that this relationship didn't work out. I'm not pretty enough. I'm too ugly. You know, constantly blaming yourself for what you're not. And that's definitely a borderline personality disorder, because then you're like, wait a minute, I'm fucking gorgeous the next day. But then if somebody turns you down, it's like, oh, I knew it. I knew that I was too ugly. I knew my hair's not pretty enough. I don't look like, you know, Kylie Jenner or whoever is cool nowadays. You know, so we definitely flip-flop between that. When it comes to anxiety, I actually have been clinically diagnosed with anxiety. And when I was, and slight depression. And when I was, it was really hard for me to understand, but then it also made a lot of sense. Because I every day would live with this constant worry that something was going to happen. I always felt like something was going wrong. I always felt on edge. I always felt uneasy. I always blamed it too on the fact that at a very young age, I had witnessed my brother lose his life. And if you're familiar with me, I've been very open with the fact that I've witnessed that. And it was very traumatic for me as a kid. And so I lived with anxiety since I was a kid, and I had no idea what anxiety was. You know, I'm half Hispanic. So in the Hispanic culture, it's not very talked about. It's not, you know, something we discuss at the dinner table, because we don't even eat at a dinner table 90% of the time. So at the same time, I was introduced to mental health or the fact that mental health was huge because of my mom. So my first taste of what mental health was after my brother, you know, lost his life. My brother was only 21, so he had a lot of life to live. I saw my mom go through a very, very deep depression, as any mother would losing a child. I didn't understand what my mom was going through, but I just knew that she was going through something, and she was really, really sad. And so I became really sad. And I became really anxious. And after my brother died, I felt like I was going to lose everybody in my life. You know, I was afraid to be alone. I was afraid to go to school. I was afraid to have friends, because why have friends if they're going to leave? It was really hard, you know? So if you have anxiety and you live with this constant worry that something is going to happen, but you don't really know what's going to happen, I feel you, you know, it definitely affects the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you think, your relationships with people, your everyday. And I do want to let you guys know that it's not your fault. It's not always something you can control, but it's something that you can practice to control. A lot of the anxiety can definitely lead into a state of depression, which is another mental illness. So the overall definition of depression is this intense feeling of sadness or loneliness, and feeling like we're alone in this world, and that we, you know, don't have anybody to go to run to talk to hold us, to care for us, to love us. We feel so just here. And sometimes we question why we're here if we don't have anybody who loves us, to care for us, to be with us, and things like that. But you know, we do. I mean, but when we're in this state of depression, we don't feel that. We trigger back to self-blame. We go back to, you know, asking these deeper questions. And I saw my mom go through that. And as I got older, I began to know, like, my mom, she was going through something, you know? So I actually took it upon myself. This is how my mental health journey started, as far as like getting down to facts and finding help and resources, was when my mom finally decided to go to the doctor and was clinically diagnosed with depression. And I was in my head, I'm like, I always knew this, but now that I'm older to understand, I get it. And I love her. And I told my mom, you know what, Mom, you know, you don't have to be strong for us anymore. Like, you don't have to be strong for anybody but yourself. And like, I want to help you. And there's definitely some hard days, but we get through them. And I think that goes for everybody in this chat. I mean, if you know somebody that's living with a mental illness or dealing with anything, it's important to let them know that they don't have to be strong for anybody but themselves. And sometimes that's where the mental health issues can come into play, is when we feel that we have to be strong for everybody, that we forget to be strong for ourselves. You're constantly pouring into a cup that you feel is half empty, when you shouldn't have to feel that way. You should be pouring into cups that are always half full. So remember to take care of yourself, because if you're not good, how can you help anybody else be good? How can you really be there for anybody if you're not there for yourself? Show up for yourself. Wake up every day. Say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get through this, because you will. And that's not toxic positivity for you guys. That's just an honest, positive answer. Is just telling yourself every single day that you're going to choose yourself today. And you don't have to say, I'm going to choose myself every day. We know that. But just tell yourself every day, I'm going to choose myself today. When things get hard, be like, you know what? All right, anxiety, I'm going to kick you in the ass today. Because I do that to myself. I'm like, damn, like, I'm on edge. I'm anxious. I don't know what to do. I literally have days where I'm like, fuck, everything is fine, but why do I feel this way? What's going on? Like, oh, maybe I'll work. No, stop. Put the work down. If you're going to work on yourself. Don't work on your craft, because that's just a distraction. And a lot of us as creatives, the whole reason why we get started in this creative industry is to mask up this trauma, these problems, these things that we've gone through. We use our art to get through those times. But in times like this, when our art is paused, what do? You know, we have no choice but to show up for ourselves. So this is actually, yeah, perfect time to go into our next slide, which is, you have to disconnect to reconnect. Meditation, social media breaks, spending time outside, breathing exercises, reading, writing, any hobby that isn't work. Take a break. No one's going to tell you that. People are going to say, what are you working on? I'm working on this. I'm working on that. Da, da, da. No. Take a break. Breaks are okay. Breaks are healthy. Breaks are necessary. Breaks are like the best thing you can do for yourself. I mean, when you're working a 9 to 5, what do you look forward to? That weekend break. You look forward to having a day off. So who says that you can't take a day off from your craft? You can. You're your boss. Tell yourself you want a day off. Take the day off. No one's going to know. And if they do, who cares? You know, this is about you. This isn't about them. This isn't about proving yourself to anybody but yourself. Does it make you happy? That's all you need to do. You need to protect your energy, because you are not for everyone and everyone is not for you. So energy is a real thing. I'm a very spiritual person. I grew up Catholic. my family's Catholic. I do believe, you know, in a higher power. I do believe that there's a life after this one. I do believe that souls never die. But I do believe that we have to protect our energy. You know, energy is a real thing. When if you've ever been around somebody and you're just kind of like, I don't know about this person. I'm not saying they're a bad person, but you know, they're not someone I want to be friends with. When it comes to DJing, you're around people all the time, whether you like it or not. You have people coming into that booth. You're looking to your right, you're looking to your left. You're like, who the hell are you? Like, okay, they're buying you drinks and shots. And you're just like, what? Oh, sure. Yeah. Woo, let's party. Yeah, sure. Add me on Instagram. Oh my God. Now I'm into your life. Now I'm seeing what you're doing outside of here. I don't need to do that. You know, you don't have to say yes. Don't be a yes man. Do not be your own yes man. It's the worst thing you could do for you. Learn to say no. Learn to protect that energy. Learn to keep your peace. Learn to stay true to you. Again, with cleansing goes to cleanse your space, cleanse your mind, cleanse your body. Listen to your being, what it's telling you can take no more of, and what it needs more of. So cleansing your space, I'm sure one of you on here, or a majority of you on here, have a friend that posts a video or a boomerang on their Instagram of them saging their room or Palo Santo their room. Do that. If that's what's cleansing to you, do that. I use sage. I love my sage. I use Palo Santo all the time. I sage my room at least once a week. And I just, you know, kind of say cleanse all the energy, relieve energy that does not serve me, bless my space, clean my being, you know, and clean those that I love most. And that's what I do at least once a week. And for me, that feels good. And when I come back from places that feel very heavy, my regular job is in a hospital. One of the nurses from here is, or from there is actually in this chat. So, hey, and he knows, like, you are around people who are sick and they're at their worst sometimes, and they're calling you names, or they're, you know, shouting things out, making you feel less of who you are, but they don't know you outside of that, you know? So go home, cleanse the energy, cleanse everything, just breathe, just take a minute and breathe, you know? And it's okay to pair these things with some actual help. Find someone that you trust, open up to them. This can be a friend, a family member, a therapist, an ER doctor, a suicide prevention hotline. Doesn't even have to be a suicide prevention. It could just be a hotline where you can actually talk to someone, and we'll get to all those resources at the end. But talking to someone definitely alleviates the pressure. Sam knows, because I've come to her more times than I can count about things that I've gone through, about things that I was going through. And it actually makes me like kind of emotional, like, because I feel like if I didn't have Sam or somebody to talk to, I probably would have lost it. I don't know what I would have done. In talking to my best friend, I also went to therapy to really understand what it was I was going through, because I reached a point of just, who are you, Marina? Like, are you happy? Are you really this? And I knew that I was happy. I loved who I was, but again, the anxiety was just like kicking in, and I didn't know, you know, I felt very lost. And I know a lot of you can relate, because some of you even talk to me, and I appreciate the DMs that you guys send me. I appreciate the text messages that you guys send me. When it comes to asking for help, I love it, because if I can be that person to you with an unbiased word, I will do that, you know. And I don't promise to have all the answers, and don't expect your friends to have all the answers, but sometimes you just need that. You just need to talk. You need someone to listen. And in addition to that, if you can be that person to somebody else that they can just talk to without, you don't even have to say anything. You already are doing such a service to this person that felt 5 minutes ago that they had nobody to go to. You giving them that 5 minutes of your time is like 5 years that they have felt bottled up. So when I talk to my therapist, it's funny because I actually graduated from therapy, like a few weeks back. I went to therapy for a long time, and my therapist was like, you know what, Marina, I think we're about to break up. And I was like, what? This is the happiest breakup I've ever had in my life, you know? She's like, I won't be seeing you anymore. I don't think that you need my help at this point in time. I feel like you are at a good space. And she read me the goals that I had when I began therapy. I was a mess. I had small goals, like I want to stop crying every night. I want to feel like I have a purpose. I want to run every day. I want to feel pretty. I want to feel beautiful in my skin. There were small things that to people are like, well, damn, Marina, you go running all the time. Yeah, now I do. Or damn, Marina, I like your hair. Your hair is pretty. Yeah, I didn't feel that way. So I was at a very dark space, but I graduated therapy, and now I don't talk to my therapist. I just talk to myself, and it works for me, but I say all this also to remind you guys that it takes practice. All of this, it's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen after this chat. We have to practice. I practice this all the time. I'm human. I slip up. You're going to slip up. There's going to be some days where you're still going to feel pretty bummed out. And that's okay. You got to navigate through those hard days. You got to remind yourself that, hey, I'm human. It's okay. I'm having a bad day. It's all right. I'm going to get through it. And we'll keep going. We'll keep going. I can't promise you that you're not going to have a bad day. I have bad days here and there too, where I'm like, damn, can today be over already? I'm so ready to hit the bed. So ready to just wake up and start fresh. Like I'm done. I'm clocked out. Goodbye. And it happens. But get up the next day and start over again. Cleanse your body, meditate if you have to. I understand meditating is not for everybody. I have people that tell me, I don't know how to meditate. So I'm always like, it's okay. I send links. I have YouTube links. If you guys are interested, DM me. I will send you the meditation links that I have to get started. And what I use, as far as reading, read something you love. I love to read. Right now I'm reading this book called Becoming Supernatural. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I post a bunch of quotes from that book on there. I love a lot of, I wouldn't call them self-help books, but I definitely love books that help me reach my highest potential. They give me hope. They make me feel like there's options outside of the world that I see, outside of this physical world. I live in what's called like a quantum world. So I live in this world where I have no attachment to any physical or any material things. And it's helped me a lot. I can get rid of something and throw it away and not feel like I'm losing who I am. I have no attachment to materialism. I barely go buy myself things. I like to go on trips. I like to buy food because food makes me happy. It's a really refreshing feeling from feeling like I had to prove myself every night when I played a gig to feeling like I don't have to prove myself to anybody, and I can write in peace, and I can publish my books, and I can talk to people like a normal human, and they feel it. And there's peace in that for me. And whatever brings peace to you, peace be upon you. You do that. Music, DJing. Sam is actually really good at this. When she plays a gig, she really puts her personality in that. And I give that to her because she can play. And anybody who knows Sam in this chat knows that she just like exudes this like positive, this uplifting, this like, I'm woman and you're going to see me kill this shit. And I admire that, because it takes a lot, and especially as a woman, but then as a creator in general, when you put who you are into what you do, it shows, and when you stop looking for the what's cool, what catches on, what's hip right now, what's hot right now, like when you take that out of your agenda and you just put yourself into it, you start to wonder like, oh my God, why do people love this design so much? Or why do people love this mix so much? Or why do people do this so much? A good example of this is the first album, if you're really into music, is the first album that artists usually put out. We look at the first album of an artist and we're like, man, this second album, this album is To Pimp a Butterfly isn't as good as Good Kid, Mad City, because Good Kid, Mad City was one of Kendrick's like first This Is Who I Am albums, unless you listen to Section 80, which is also great. But that first album is your heart, is your soul, is that piece with no judgment. That's why usually the first thing you put out, and that one piece that you don't expect anybody to really listen to, like, I'm gonna just do this. I don't think anybody's gonna buy it. I don't think anybody's gonna listen to it, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And they gravitate towards it is because you put who you are into it. And there's only one of you. There really is. So keep a healthy space, put who you are into what you do, and it's endless. Ding. This is kind of like what we covered. Did you know you have superpowers? Yeah, take the time to get to know yourself, love yourself, understand yourself, forgive yourself. Oh my goodness. forgiveness is a real thing. We all have skeletons. We've all done some things we're not proud of. Stop thinking about that. Stop making yourself feel guilty about that. Tell yourself you're sorry. Hey, look, I'm really sorry that I didn't love you as much as I did. I'm sorry I didn't love you 5 years ago the way I love you now. And this isn't to somebody, this is to yourself. Sorry. Damn, like, I'm sorry I put you in that shitty situation. I'm sorry I put you in that really bad relationship. I'm sorry that I, stressed you out so much that you laid in bed for a week. I'm really sorry, but, I forgive you and we're going to do better. Forgive yourself. We say it's okay to so many people who say they're sorry to us, and sometimes we don't even know, like, if they're really sincere, but we forgive them and we say, it's okay, it's cool. Is it really though? So we give out apologies and we accept apologies all the time. Who says you can't do that to you? So it's very important that we tell yourself that it's okay. We're sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm being human today. I'm sorry I'm a little fucked up today, but we'll be good. We'll be good. I forgive you. That's all you gotta do. So if you can think greater than how you feel, ding, I actually learned this from the book that I'm reading. So I'm gonna show you guys the book, actually, in case you don't know. So this is the book, Becoming Supernatural. This is the book that I'm reading. This is like my Bible right now. I like put stickers in there, which I highly encourage you guys to do whenever you read a book. So yeah, if you can think past, greater, or if you can think greater than how you feel. I don't know if we can get that slide up again, Sam. I love seeing your beautiful faces, but you can begin living a more fulfilled life instead of one that is conditioned to living off emotions built from the past. So we touched a little bit on this. Once you can begin thinking greater than how you feel, you can stop using your past as a reason for why you can't grow. You can stop using your past for, why you are living the life that you're living now. Oh, I'm not as happy because, when I was 16, I fell in love with a boy and he really screwed me over. So now I'm really screwed up with relationships. Fuck him, fuck her. Live your best life, That's as simple as I can put it. Think past that. Think past your past. That's actually a great way to put it. For a long time, I was limiting myself because of my brother's passing. I was like, you know what? I can't be strong. I feel like my mom was doing this too. I can't be strong. I can't, how dare I be happy? My brother died. Like, I lost this person that I loved. I can't live this life that he didn't get to live. I was limiting myself and I had to get past that. And it's not to say that I forget about these people that I love, that I've lost. It just means that I'm learning to navigate through the hard days. And that's what grief is. I feel like right now we're all going through a big stage of grief. Grief isn't just losing somebody to death. Grief is losing yourself. Grief is feeling the loss of who you were. So like right now, a lot of us are grieving who we were before this pandemic. We're grieving this person that we thought we knew we were. But now that isn't as accessible, we're grieving. We miss them. We miss this. We miss that. And I totally understand it. But when we let those emotions linger on, we eventually create a mood, which then we carry into our body language, our conversation, relationships. When we hold on too long, it eventually becomes your identity. So when you hold on to this state of past being, you let it affect your relationships. You can't love anymore because you feel that you don't deserve love because you haven't succeeded at it yet. But who's to say that you don't deserve love? It's just things happen. That's what life is about. Who's to say you don't deserve success just because your first design didn't kick off or because your first gig was really bad. My first DJ gig, it was in a basement in North Hollywood. I didn't know what I was doing. It was terrible. And then I played a gig at the Echo and that even went terrible. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let this get to me because then it's going to create this mood of like, I can't do anything. And then I'm really never going to succeed. The author of this book has a really great quote that's actually the last point of this. And it says, being in the unknown is a scary place for most people because the unknown is uncertain. The best way to predict your future is to create it, not from the known, but from the unknown. Create from that place that you haven't been yet. that's the most purest, exciting, exhilarating, new, fresh, untouched place. And that will, I can guarantee you, make you feel like you're on top of the world. That's your, again, that's your superpower, you know? So I love that quote. I keep it in a notebook with me, and it's just amazing. If you haven't, or if you don't know who Joe Dispenza is, I definitely encourage you to watch his interviews on YouTube, his speeches. I encourage you to read the book. If you have questions, again, you can ask me. I'd be more than happy to send you some of my notes. I take notes when I read, so I would love to do that for you if I can.
I want to say it's been great to witness your own journey in doing this exact thing on this on this last quote, because like you said, when you did you know, kind of take a break from DJing and you wanted to focus on your mental health, not only for yourself but to help other people, and then what came out of it, like physical things that came out of it, which is really dope to see that you have done, you know, the work and the progress in order for things to happen in that way. Even just DJing, right? It goes for a lot of us in terms of just, or even just any craft, design, you know, photography, things like that. Like it takes just that one moment of just believing in yourself and be like, let me just sign up for that class, or let me pick up this camera, right? It's just that one thing to
that leap of faith.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love you guys. I hope everybody's like, you know, still doing good. Everybody's still with me. I'm definitely peeking at the chat as much as I can. So if I'm not writing back, it's just because I'm talking to you guys. But I see there's some people in here who love Joe Dispenza. Oh, cool. And they're actually going to get all the notes and the books and stuff to share with you guys. So I think that's awesome too. That's really cool. Thanks. Share it with me too, because I don't mind revisiting that. So I guess we're gonna get into some small exercises. So if you guys don't have anything to write with, that's super cool. You know, if you aren't on your phone, use your phone. If you want to go ahead and grab a pen and paper, go ahead, because we are going to do a small writing exercise that's going to create what's kind of like a poem and a mantra at the same time. But before we get into that, I will go through the other points so that you guys can, you know, grab what you need to grab. Or if you don't, you know, want to write through it and you just kind of want to sit through it, that's okay too. Marisol, I don't know if, or Sam, if you guys can put the I am writing exercise, oh no, not up yet, but like when you send over the books and stuff like that, you can send over that exercise to them too. Cool. So yeah.
We have
when I graduate, we have a what?
We have a newsletter, so we'll make sure that everyone.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, so we'll
subscribe to the newsletter.
Yeah, we'll make sure everybody today, you guys are gonna get a link of the recap of this in case you want to rewatch it, and then we're also gonna send you a PDF of everything you're seeing on our screen.
All right, so reparenting yourself. We'll start with that. When I graduated therapy, I say graduating because it's like I really felt like I did that, you know. I held myself accountable. I showed up every week. I went to therapy once a week, every week, sometimes twice a week when I was like barely starting and really was going through it. I don't know, therapy really helped me. Not just with overcoming my brother's passing and not just understanding my mom's depression, but to kind of go back and to let you guys in a little bit more about who I am. If any of you have ever been through it. I was also in a very bad relationship, a domestic violent relationship. And it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I was a victim. But now I'm a survivor. And I say this to say, because there's been a lot of conversation on social media surrounding that topic. And I just really want to tell people that, you know, you're not victims, you're survivors. I just throw that out there. You know, heal on your own. You don't have to put it out there for everybody to see. Heal on your own, do what you gotta do. And a lot of that comes from reparenting yourself. So sometimes when we go through situations, a lot of the things can happen when we're younger. We don't really have the help that we deserve. So we have to reparent ourselves. And again, I come from I'm half Hispanic, half Native American. So my Hispanic background, we didn't really talk or open up about healing. Again, it was a lot of sweep things on the rug. So after I went to therapy and I really learned what that meant to reparent yourself, I was like, whoa, I really gotta, you know, do this for me all over again. So, so I'm looking at my notes here. So reparenting yourself is exactly that. You have to be your own mom and dad again. You have to go back to childhood you and build yourself all over again, you know, create this person that you want to be from here on out. It's never too late to start, you know, and it's never too late to restart. So reparenting comes from finding joy, creating discipline, and also practicing self-care. So with joy, you got to find things that you enjoy to do that don't involve pressure. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Riding a bike, going for walks, gardening, buying plants. I love my plants, you know. I like seeing them grow. I like seeing how me watering and talking to them makes them grow. And I tell myself, I am a plant too. I got to water myself. I got to talk to myself, and I will grow. And I will see the beauty. And, you know, some parts of me may fall off, but it's okay because it makes room for the new leaves. So I treat myself like a plant. I love my plants. They're my other babies aside from my real baby, who's not a baby. He is 11 years old now. But and then creating human connections that you enjoy. So we, again, talked about this a little bit before. We can find joy in people. You can definitely find joy in people. There's people that I love being around because they bring out sides of me that are just goofy and funny. And, you know, Sam is the perfect person.
Oh my gosh.
During this pandemic, we haven't seen each other physically, but, you know, we talk all the time and we just laugh. Like I can hear Sam's voice through her text messages. And it's hilarious because she brings me joy and I love being around her in whatever way that I can. So find joy in people as much as you can. Reach out to people, check in on people, have genuine conversations. Discipline. So discipline, it doesn't come from being strict on yourself. Discipline, sometimes we think strict diets or strict ways of thinking, or, you know, I have to meditate every day. I have to write every day. I have to do this every single day. No, make small promises to yourself. So tomorrow's what, Friday? So, you know, tomorrow I am gonna get up and I'm gonna go for a 10-minute walk and sit outside for another 5 just to catch some sun. There's a small thing. If you can do that, you're already disciplining yourself. You're already, you know, setting a goal and meeting it. And the small wins make for big changes. If you can start small, you begin to add to that. And, you know, eventually a 10-minute walk turns into a 20-minute run. A 20-minute run turns into a 30-minute run. 30-minute run turns into an hour bike ride. You know, you begin to create these healthy habits and you begin to surprise yourself. And in return, you not only physically feel good, but your mental health feels good because you feel like proud of yourself. You feel like a proud parent. You feel like, you know, there's no one telling you, oh my gosh, you did it, but yourself. And that's so rewarding, is to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, dang, girl, you killed that run. You killed that bike ride. You did that. You did that. Nobody did that. You took yourself out. And that's pretty cool, you know? So another way to create discipline is to say to yourself, you know, you're gonna, I don't know, yeah, you're gonna meditate every day, but that goes into self-care. So self-care isn't just about taking yourself on trips. Self-care isn't, and we really can't do that now. So what are your self-care? I used to see a lot of self-care is like, oh, I'm a self-care, I'm gonna take myself to the spa, I'm gonna go get a massage, I'm gonna go do this. That's cool. But what else are you gonna do for yourself? You know, are you gonna journal today? Are you gonna write today? Are you gonna, you know, sit with yourself a little bit today? Because if you eventually need to get out and go somewhere to reach that self-care, it eventually becomes just a distraction. You're trying to get away from being with yourself. And now we have no choice but to be with ourselves. So the perfect time to find some self-care is now. You know, girls, paint your nails. Guys, yeah, I don't know what you like to do. Work out, run. It's funny I say that because I have 4 brothers. So it's funny that I say, guys, I don't know what you like to do, because it's been a long time since they've lived with me. But, you know, my brothers used to work on their car. They used to build lowrider bikes and things like that. So that was their form of self-care, is they would find something they really loved to do. But reparenting is a big thing. Another thing that we can do for ourselves when you're feeling anxiety, this mainly goes for people with anxiety. My therapist also taught me this, is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. Also grounding. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of grounding, which is bringing yourself back to a center, bringing yourself back to the present moment. When I was first introduced to grounding, my therapist, when I went to see her, she was like, Marina, how was your week? And I was like, oh girl, it's terrible. I went out. I remember I had a really bad anxiety attack when I was out with a friend, and I was at a bar, and I was like, I need to get out of here. I can't breathe. I can't go. And my poor friend had no idea that I had anxiety. So he was like, okay, let's go get some air. But I was trying to ground myself in this place, and I couldn't do it. So I told my therapist, I was like, grounding is bullshit. I told her like that. I was like, it's not for me. I can't do it. She was like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay. She was the sweetest person ever. She's like, well, let's try this exercise called 5-4-3-2-1, which is also a form of grounding. So when you're out and about, you can literally do this anywhere. You can do it at the park. You could do it when you're out with your friends. You can do it anytime that you feel a little bit overwhelmed. So you find 5 things that you can see around you. So I remember when I was at the bar, I was like, car, stop sign, drunk people, beer. Like, it was funny, but it's like, it was honest. I needed to take myself away from this feeling that I was feeling inside. 4 things you can touch. So I was like, okay, I can touch this tree that I'm sitting under right now. I can touch the cement because I was sitting on like a curb. I can touch, my hair. I can do this. So you find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear. So I can hear the birds right now. I can hear the fan that's on in my room. I can hear my dog barking. Cool. 2 things you can smell. So right now I can smell my plants and I can smell my hair product. 1 thing I can taste is, the tea that I have in my cup. So that's cool. And by doing this, you take your mind off of this feeling that you're feeling inside, that anxiety. You kind of, you tell yourself like, okay, I'm in this moment. It's okay. Things are okay. I'm still around things I can see, touch, smell, taste. Good. And that worked for me. I do that a lot. So if you're around me and you see me kind of spaced out, I'm probably 5-4-3-2-1ing to bring myself back to this place of clarity. Another thing, I don't know, Sam, if you can bring that slide back up. I think this is where we're going to get to this writing exercise. So if you have a pen, or if you don't, you're not on your phone, you're on your laptop. When I was in 7th grade, my teacher had me do what's called an I am poem. This is very similar to that. I've switched it up. This is something that I do with my students, and it's for them to keep. And the unique part of this is that no one's is going to be the same. So my students love it, and they're between the ages of 13 and 17. So it's really cool to hear them do this poem. But if you don't have to write all this out, you guys can actually just write what's in the parentheses and fill in the blanks and then read the poem to yourself. Or, if any of y'all are brave enough and want to read yours out loud, I think that'd be pretty cool too. If anybody wants to unmute themselves or, put it in the chat like, hey, I'm down. We could do that too. I think it'd be great to open up the space to somebody who'd be interested in sharing. So I am poem is basically like a really cool mantra for yourself. I am Marina. I am something non-physical. I want you guys to look deeper inside of yourself, find something that you're really proud of when it comes to you. So for me, like, I am Marina. I am an amazing mother. I am, a loving friend, daughter, sister. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm not defined by the fact that I was a teen mom, because that's brought upon me a lot. It's like, wow, you had a kid really young. When people find out how old I am and see that my son's 11 and my son is literally my height, they're like, oh my gosh, so I'm not defined by the fact that I was a single mom, because I know that I am as powerful as my own mother, as her own strength. Today, I promised to myself that I will be more open and loving. And I hope that I was that for you guys. I love the body that I've been given. I accept all that I am. I accept who I've grown to be. I accept me. I am Marina. So you guys, this is for you guys to read to yourself when you need that friendly reminder, when you guys need a quick pick me up in the morning, at night. It's very simple. It's nothing too heavy. You don't even have to be a writer to complete this. You just have to know yourself, you know, look a little deeper inside of you. So yeah, I hope this is cool for you guys. I still have mine from or my mom has mine from like 7th grade hanging on the refrigerator, which is pretty cool. All dusty, but it's there.
Is there anyone in the room that wants to read theirs? You can unmute yourself. Type a 1 in the chat for me.
I would love it. I would love it.
Yourself.
I remember I did this, I taught a class to a group of boys who they were at-risk youth. They had all just been released from juvenile hall. So they're sitting in this room and they're looking at one another like kind of sketch because they don't know one another. And we did this exercise. And at the end of it, they went up to each other. They're like, damn, dog, that's dope. That's me too. I feel that. I feel that. What's your name? And they all started talking to each other. I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. They had more in common than they thought they did, which was really unique.
Yeah. Don't be shy. I think I'm still thinking about the misconception that has been brought upon you. I think that actually even takes time to really think about in your life, you know?
Yeah, sometimes we're told things, but this can also be something that, you know, holds us back from being who we ultimately want to be. Unfortunately, a lot of this does come from family. You know, a lot of this misconception comes from family. It's like, oh, well, you're not a DJ because you're not making enough money. You're not a DJ because you're not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You're not a designer because you're not selling in the stores.
Yeah.
You're not an artist manager because your artists aren't at the Grammys. You know? It happens all the time.
Yeah, my mom will just be like, you're always working, but
where's the money? Yeah, I feel that. My mom used to tell me something. She's like, Rena, you're going out every weekend, but where's the money?
You're really doing it at 2 a.m., right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, getting paid in exposure, Mom. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, yay. We have a brave person, Miriam. Yay, thank you. If you don't mind, please unmuting yourself, Miriam. We'd love to hear what you've come up with.
Sure. I mean, I don't. Hopefully, I don't start like getting teary-eyed, but whatever. Hi, guys. I'm Miriam.
If you do, we're here for you.
Welcome.
Okay. So I didn't write the entire thing down, and it's gone now.
Oh, I'll put it back up.
All right. So I am Miriam. I am very generous, and I am very silly. For that, I am grateful. I am not defined by my chronic pain because I know I am as positive as our body that has mind-blowing self-healing abilities. Today, I promise myself that I will show myself love. I love the body I've been given. I accept all that I am. I accept who I've grown to be. I accept me. I am Miriam.
That's beautiful. Wow. That was really good. I liked your, I'm not defined by that. Is so true because our body does have some amazing healing ability if we give it the room to do exactly that. So that's beautiful. Awesome.
We have B as well in here. B, do you want to unmute yourself? She's one of our ladies of sound. She's on our stream team. B.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to adjust the slide.
Can you unmute yourself?
Okay.
There it is.
Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am B. I am funny. I am passionate about my truth. You like that? I'm funny. I am passionate about my truth. For that, I am grateful. I am not defined by my job choices or the lack of education I carry because I know I'm as powerful as the sun and I change like the moon. Today, I promise myself that I will step more into the leader I want to be. I love my body. Do I have to say the rest? I love my body.
Say it, girl.
I love the body I've been given. I accept all that I am. I accept who I've grown to be. I accept me. I am B.
Woo, and it rhymes.
I love it. I know
That was my accent.
I love it. Gotta take my job. No, just kidding. I love it. It's awesome. And I applaud you girls for being so brave, you know, so open, so willing. Amazing. Good job.
Anybody else? We good?
Y'all don't have to. It's okay. I think it's amazing. As long as you read it to yourselves, I am so happy. And if y'all want to share with me through social media, by all means, I'm here to listen. I'm here to read. I would love to read it. If you guys want to DM it to me, I would love it. So
yeah, I'm gonna send you mine because I'm like still thinking about some of that stuff.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
got me thinking a lot. So thank you for sharing that exercise, Marina.
Definitely, definitely. And you can change it anytime you guys want to.
No, that was very powerful. Yeah, and if anybody would, you know, like to share with Marina, please do so. You know, we're gonna actually put up some information for you guys to reach out for her. And again, in the newsletter, we're gonna recap everything, and you guys will have access to her and us as well.
Yeah. So Marina, we also have you put up some other resources, right?
Mm-hmm. I did. So there is the suicide prevention hotline. There's also, if you guys don't want to call, there's an online link. We all have phones. It's super accessible. We all have the internet now, pretty much. So if you need to call, you would call that first number. If you are Spanish speaking or know someone who's Spanish speaking, there's also a line to call in Spanish. Or someone who's deaf or hard of hearing, there's also a line too. In which that they can help. You know, you would obviously have to help somebody if you can. That would be amazing. National Hope Line. So this connects you to a crisis center in your own area. Some people in this are from Los Angeles. Some of you are my friends from San Diego, and I'm not positive where anybody else may be from, but this will connect you to a place in your area. Again, there's also an online site. So in case you guys, you know, don't want to call, there's no judgment. You guys can visit online. Substance abuse, addiction, and behavioral health. So you would go to the alltreatment.com, find treatment, you know, that long site there. So this, if you're dealing with addiction, whether that be to, you know, a very, you know, narcotic or alcohol, you would visit this and they will link you to a place in where you can get help. A lot of them are free services that you can go to. And sometimes we don't know the resources that we have right now in this pandemic. I understand it's very hard. You can't physically go, but you can do exactly what you did today. Log on to Zoom. And a lot of these therapists are holding Zoom sessions. So we can do that as well. Worst case scenario, and you feel like you are at a place where you're just, you know, not healthy, you can also visit your local emergency room and they will assist you the best way that they can and evaluate you. So that's also another option in case you guys didn't know that is an option for you.
Well, thank you so much, Marina. We took so much out of this session.
I hope so.
If you guys want, we are at the point where we'll take some questions. Marina will take some questions. If anybody wants to ask one, feel free to type a 1 in the chat, and then you can unmute yourself and you can ask any questions. No pressure though. We definitely understand that this can be something personal. And Marina said that she'd take some DMs. So if you guys want to DM her too, she'll hit her up. So
yeah,
don't be shy if you guys have any.
But don't be shy. Nice to see you guys. Oh, y'all are so sweet. You're welcome, everybody.
Y'all roll deep today.
Oh yay! We have a couple of questions. We actually have so we're gonna go in chronological order. Alina, she is
Dr. J.
Yeah, Alina, if you don't mind unmuting yourself, so you can talk to Marina.
Hi, Marina. Thank you so much. Very beautiful chat. I have a question. What would be your recommendation in terms of choosing maybe the right therapist for you? Like, I would love to attend therapy, but I just don't know, how do you choose a therapist? What would be the right therapist? Where do you even find them? Do you, like, if you could just, like, slightly walk through the process, don't go into
Of course. So that's actually a great question. A good way to find your therapist, if you guys do have medical insurance, a lot of your medical insurance does offer some free services, maybe up to 10 sessions for free. And then after that, it's based on medical necessity. I know a lot of insurances do that. If so, there's a number on the back of your insurance card that will connect you to behavioral health. From there, they will actually, now that we're in this day and age, they will text you a list of providers that are in your area. If you feel most comfortable talking to a male, you can let the representative know, hey, I would like to be connected to a male therapist. If you want to be connected to a female therapist, you can also say, I would love a recommendation of all female therapists. The way that I found my therapist was I chose a therapist that specialized in trauma therapy and exposure therapy, because I felt that that worked best for me based on what I have experienced in my life. So I did also ask and specify in that. So I specified a female therapist that dealt with trauma and also did exposure therapy. So you can be as specific as you want, and then they will link you to the best resources that they can. There's also, I also came across a really cool site. It's called Latinx Therapy, which connects people to a lot of Latina and Latino therapists, which is huge because, again, that's a real thing. Also, if you don't have medical insurance, which I know a lot of us have lost because we've lost our jobs or whatnot, you can access through the links that I actually gave you. They give you a lot of the free clinics that are around you, the free resources. But again, if you feel that you're not safe to yourself and you're a danger to others or yourself, go to your closest ER and they'll assess you there. But there's always options. I highly recommend those sites. I highly recommend the number. Another good place is the National Alliance for Mental Institution. I was actually a manager for their peer-to-peer mental health services there. They're amazing. They have various locations. So for short, they're called NAMI, so NAMI.org. They're actually a great resource as well to link you to a therapist. So my recommendation would be just be as specific as you possibly can be, and don't be afraid to be too specific.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Thank you, Alina.
That was a great question. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really good question. We have another question from one of our BJO students. Hi, Lou. Can you go ahead and unmute yourself so you can ask Marina your question?
What's going on, Marina? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well.
What up, dude?
What's
Hi.
good? All right. So, what would you say would be a good practice to do when you're trying to prepare for a specific gig that's giving you a lot of anxiety, because you're trying to, of course, with every new gig, you want to put your best foot forward, and really do an amazing job, but it gets you to a point to where you're freaking out about it. What would you say is a good something
exercise
to try to kind of centering
bring yourself back,
like you said? Yeah.
Breathing, actually. A good technique is a breathing exercise, which you can do in the green room of your gig, actually. You can do it at your house. You can do it in your car before you get off at the venue. So the breathing exercise is taking deep breaths. It may sound silly to some, but we forget to breathe a lot of the time. We especially when you're feeling anxiety, you're kind of breathing at a fast pace, but I would recommend some breathing exercises. So this is like 5 seconds deep breath in. So you hold your breath and kind of breathe out. I wouldn't recommend, being in the green room and grilling yourself about what songs you're going to play. Trust yourself, but as silly as it sounds, breathing exercises to bring yourself back to reality, back to the current moment, telling yourself your mantra, like, I can do this. I'm as powerful as, Jazzy Jeff or whoever your DJ idol is. Boom, go out there and kill it. So, yeah, that would be my advice, honestly.
Cool.
And you got this, dude. I've heard you. You're good. You're good. You don't got nothing to worry about. I know you.
Thank you so much, Lou.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got it. Thank you so much. If anybody else has any questions, we're gonna go ahead. Very good. All right. So, like Marina said, that she is open to you guys hitting her up if you ever want to talk to her on your own. Luckily, her handle is the same for everything: Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, if you want to check her mixes, Medium as well. With us, you guys already know, Ladies of Sound.la. We are the women's division of the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound. I am Sammy G, your host, with Maricel MC Sohn. You can find us at ladiesofsound.com. And before we go, real quick, we do this thing every single week called Sisterhood Spotlight, where we highlight women in our community or in our world who either had to pivot because of the pandemic, or just our small businesses trying to get it through, trying to hustle their way through, and Marina is definitely one of them. So she has her zines and her open letters, Bobby and Soul Investigation. So you guys can cop that at bymarinamoreno.bigcartel.com. She has them there. I have mine on my desk with a cool little rose, because that's her thing. So you guys are definitely welcome to check that out. And yeah, now you have something physical from Marina. All right.
I love it.
And to end the chat, you guys can check out actually one of her new mixes out. It's a real feel good mix. You guys could check her out at Moreno X Marina on her SoundCloud. We actually have our good friend DJ Umami right after. Actually, she's on right now. She's on Sheila E's Instagram right now. She's doing a takeover, which is really dope. If you guys don't know Sheila E, you should definitely look into it. Check her out. She's playing right now. And we actually launched our Ladies of Sound podcast this past weekend. Our girl B was over here, and she was our beautiful host. We had other girls from our Ladies of Sound camp, and they did a cool little podcast. So that's on our Twitch right now on Ladies of Sound. So you guys are definitely welcome to check that out. And then we also, so every Thursday, we do this wellness series. So today was mental health, but next week we're going to be doing yoga. The week after that, we're going to be mastering your mindset. So this is not just for DJs. This is for anyone who's welcome or who would want to come. You guys are welcome to participate in it. The yoga for DJs is dope. Even if you're not a DJ, she really cranks a lot of that stuff out for you. So that's going to be next Thursday. And then the Thursday after that is our coach, Camille.
Yeah, and just to touch on that really quick, Sam. So yeah, guys, I don't DJ. I'm on the business side of things, and I did that yoga for DJs class, and I like cracked bones in my body that I have been like dying to crack. So I highly recommend doing this. Raito also does this every Monday, but you can catch her with us next Thursday. And then Lou, in terms of breathing, so the week after this is our personal business coach, Coach Camille, and she actually is going to work on mindset, and she actually taught us a great breathing exercise that I'll have her bring up in that chat. So if you guys want to come back and check that out, she is a coach to a bunch of CEOs and just high level people. So we've been working her for the past year. I would highly recommend you guys come to this mindset class, and especially to get that breathing exercise. So I just wanted to touch on that.
For sure. And then we have our community chats every Tuesday. We have DJ Cutting Candy next Tuesday, and then we have Sasha Marie from Selection the weekend after, or the week after that. So you guys are definitely welcome to come through. It's just like a Zoom chat like this. We talk about their journeys as DJs, and all the advice that we could possibly get. So all that knowledge there for our community chats. And pretty much thank you guys so much. Thanks for your time, your energy. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. We'll always have our recaps available on our website. So if you want to rewatch this, if you want the presentation with all the links and things like that, you'll have that as well. And if you guys wanted to donate, ladiesofsound.com/donate, just saying. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Marina, for being here and being our special guest today. It's been
thank you guys. Thank you for creating this safe space for everybody. Beautiful.
Thank you. So thank you guys, especially all the new people here. So welcome. Hope you guys are not shy, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you. Thank you, Marina. You're awesome. Today was amazing and definitely needed. And I hope that we all continue to have these hard conversations, because that's just what 2020 is. It's a hard conversation every single day.
Hard, yes,
Yeah.
It is. It's hard and weird, and I don't know.
Yes, so let's keep on working on it. Yeah, let's keep on working at it. And you guys, if you guys really like today, we'll bring Marina back. And you know, this isn't just a one-time thing, guys. We are trying to create this mental health awareness on top of just everything else to take care of your mind, body, and soul, because we all need it during these crazy times. So thank you guys. And then shout out to Nanlib for being so open and vulnerable in the chat. And y'all, if you didn't see her art, y'all got to check that out. Check out at Nanlib,
There's
and
a lot
Nanlib
of
Invasion.
people
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, so many great people. And thank you to all the new people, all the men that we saw here today. You guys are so
Yes.
awesome for being here. Super appreciate
Mental
you
health is
guys.
attractive.
Yes, super, super. But yeah, thank you guys again.
All right. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you so much. Bye.